Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching me from around the world. Welcome to the Making of a Phenomenal Woman, brought to you by AGGSOGAs. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Sheung Akinloton, class of 98, and I will be your moderator for today. I see you all, and I would like to give you a shout out. So please, if you are watching me right now and you can hear me clearly, leave me your name and your location in the comment box. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see Bimbo Obashui. Thank you, Ma. Thank you for joining. Olubukola Jiboku. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Oluwatoyin Badejo. Shoboyejo Tolulokwe. Yes, thank you, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. So please go ahead and share with your friends, share with your neighbors, share with all AGGSOGAs so we can have more people join us and participate in this event. Now, I also wanted to wish us all a happy Founders Day. I know it's belated. Our Founders Day was Sunday, February 14th. I hope it was a good one for you. You know, Founders Day and Valentine's Day always coincided when we were in school, and it's always a big day. So I hope you all had a great Founders Day. Today, we have two phenomenal women in the house. Mrs. Elizabeth Ajibola, she's class of 78, my chest. I don't even know where I was in 1978. And then we also have another phenomenal woman by the name Mrs. Titilayo Unegbu, class of 1984. We as AGGSOGAs, we are all phenomenal women. So we celebrate and we honor each and every one of us. Before I bring them in, I want us to go through our school anthem. Welcome, Ma. Welcome, Yinka. Great. Thank you so much, Ma. Oh, Yinka Awokwegba. Thank you. Thank you for joining. If you have not invited your friends, go ahead and share. If you have not subscribed to this channel, this is the AGGSOGA channel, go ahead and subscribe as well. So we're going to go ahead and play the school anthem. You can sing along if you still remember the lyrics, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Abeokuta Girls Grammar School Anthem. Dear AGGS. On the hills of Abeokuta, 'neath the sky of blue, stand the halls of AGGS gloriously in view. Dear AGGS, dear AGGS, there for us to see. You will stand beloved forever through eternity. Can the girls that thou hast brought up honor bring to thee? Onward, upward, ever striving, always loving thee. Dear AGGS, dear AGGS, there for us to see. You will stand beloved forever through eternity. Dreaming of the days we spent there, lingering we renew. Still with love and hope we cherish memories of you. Dear AGGS, dear AGGS, there for us to see. You will stand beloved forever through eternity.
My name is Yeye Otumba Adetola Azan, the National President of AGGSOGA, and who is a phenomenal woman. She's a woman of valor. She's a courageous woman. She's a disciplined woman. She's a woman who follows her dream through. She's a woman who has a well-balanced life. She's a virtuous woman. She's a cultured woman. She's a respectable woman. She's a woman full of humility, but firm. She's a woman who is not easily distracted. She's a woman who sees opportunities and not obstacles. She's a woman who every woman should strive to be. We have many of them in AGGSOGA. We'll be listening to two of them this evening. Please follow them and enjoy the evening. God bless.
Hello, AGGSOGAs. My name is Titilayo Obadina Unegbu, the making of a phenomenal woman. Who is the phenomenal woman? Someone who's excelled in their and done exceptionally well in their chosen area of study. We have two women for this program, and I'm sure you will learn a lot from them. This is presented by Seun Akinloton. I look forward to it. It's going to be great. See you there.
Welcome back. So you've listened to our national president, Yeye Otunba Adetola Azan. A phenomenal woman, is a woman of valor. She's a woman of strength. And you've also listened to Auntie Teniola Adekombi. I'm going to bring in our two phenomenal women now, and we're going to learn from their story. They're going to share their stories, and I promise you, you're going to enjoy this session. Just sit back and relax. When I bring them in, I know I can't see you physically, but I feel like we're connected through the internet. So just give them a clap in the comment box, cheer them on as I bring them in, and welcome them warmly. Welcome, ma. Welcome, ma.
Thank you, Seun.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It is great to have you here. So, welcome, ma. Mommy Ajibola, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Auntie Titi, can you hear me?
Yes, Seun, I can hear you.
Awesome. So I'm going to start with Mommy Ajibola. May we please meet you, ma?
Well, thank you very much, Seun, for having me. And good evening, everyone, because I'm speaking from Nigeria today. I am Elizabeth Olusholape Ajibola, a proud member of 1978 class. I'm a wife, a mother, an industrial chemist, a manufacturer, and a property developer. I'm currently the Chief Executive Officer of Maranatha Chemical Ventures Limited and Ajibola and Company Limited. I currently sit on the board of a bank and 3 other manufacturing outfits. The Maranatha Chemical Ventures aspect of our business manufactures industrial sterilant and surface active reagents, plus raw plus intermediate materials for food and beverage industries like Nigerian breweries, Nigerian bottling company Coca-Cola, and many others like that, and printing inks for security mints and prints all over Africa. Ajibola and Company Limited is into the development and consultancy of property development.
Thank you, ma. Wow, property developer, business owner, sitting on the board of banks. You are indeed a phenomenal woman. That is great. Auntie Titi, may we please meet you, ma?
Thank you, Seun. Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm here in Maryland. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for watching this program. My name is Mrs. Titilayo Unegbu. I'm a proud mother of 4 beautiful children. I'm a wife to my lovely husband. We've been married for 29 years. I'm a registered nurse. I'm also the Vice President of Operations at Rosio Medical Center, which is my husband's practice. And I'm also the proud founder and owner of Tile Healthcare Services here in Maryland. We provide skilled care to patients in their different homes and communities. Thank you.
Wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. We are excited to hear from you. And what a great introduction, phenomenal women. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, let's talk about your years at AGGS. I know that you finished in 1978, Mommy Ajibola. Let's talk about your years. So, how was your experience at AGGS?
At AGGS, it was a blend of problems and exposure. I would say adventurous, difficult, and funny. Adventurous because this was a girl that was born and bred in Abeokuta. And for the first time in my life, meeting with other girls from all over the world. Difficult because of the extra difficult teachers I encountered back at AGGS, like Mrs. C.A. Adeni, Mamaye Akiumi, who brought out the best in us. It was funny because of the peculiarity of my classmates. Not all of them, most of them. Because little girls that were behaving as if they were boys. It was a nice time to learn, a difficult time to blend to what my teachers wanted, because I was a little mollish as a child, and adventurous because I was meeting many other girls of my age from all over the world for the first time.
Awesome. So, your time at AGGS was funny, problematic, and adventurous. 3 in 1.
Yeah.
I can imagine. So, what do you mean when you say that that was the first time you were meeting with international students? Did we have people from outside the country attend AGGS at that time?
Oh yes, we sure did.
Wow.
I remember about 5 of them. Yeah, three mixed bloods. They were coming direct from the UK that time. I think one from the US, a black girl from the US too, from the UK too. And then one Dorothy Abuza from Uganda.
Wow.
And they were, I can remember vividly 5 of them as at now.
Wow, 5 international.
And majority of our classmates were coming from Lagos.
Wow.
So I mean, Lagos then was like mini London. I was born in Abeokuta. I grew up in Abeokuta. I went to my primary school in Abeokuta. I didn't have the luxury of a nursery school. I went to a public primary school, and I was meeting girls from nursery school from Lagos. It got so bad they nicknamed us Mele Chapon and Rare Egba. These were very tough and naughty girls. These were very tough and naughty girls that could not be caged.
Wow.
But not all of them, most of them were really pleasant and peculiar.
It's amazing. So when you were at AGGS, were you at Onikolobo or were you at Iberekodo? Because I know that the school actually started at Iberekodo before it moved down to the permanent site. So I wasn't sure whether by the time you started at AGGS around 1973 or 74?
73.
73, okay.
We were at Onikolobo.
Okay, you were at Onikolobo. Wow, that is amazing. It was problematic, it was funny, and it was adventurous. Auntie Titi, how about you? I know that you finished in 1984. So how was your time? How would you describe your time at AGGS?
My time at AGGS, I always agree with Mrs. Ajibola about the international, because we do have some students from India. Like we have Shah from India in our class during that time. My time at AGGS was so beautiful. I had a culture shock because that was the first time really I will leave my parents. I was raised in Ibadan. I did a nursery school. When we finished in Ibadan, when I finished in elementary school, my parents, I had a choice of going to St. Anne's in Molete in Ibadan, because my 2 sisters went there. So my parents wanted me to go to Ibadan. But when it was time for me to go to high school, to go to secondary school, my parents asked me, you know, they will be retiring soon and they will be moving to Abeokuta if I would like to go to a school in Abeokuta. So I said, it's okay, you know, I would like to do that. So at that time, my parents took me to Abeokuta. We applied. I was admitted in 78. And why I said it was beautiful, when we got to the school, at that time, I think the school was trying to close the boarding house. You know, there's no space for new Form 1 students. So my dad went to the principal. May her soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Mrs. Akiyode at the time. So my dad went to her and said, I'm here from Ibadan. I'm not living in Abeokuta. Here's my daughter. You admitted her. What do you want me to do? You know, I can't take her back to Ibadan. So Mr. Akiyode said, you know, what do you want me to do? We tried, there's no more hostel. So my dad said, okay, she might as well stay with you. So she said, okay. She said, okay, she can stay with me. Then after a while, really, my dad left me in her house. Then she said, you know what? Let her take me to the school. So to the boarding school. So we went to the boarding school and she handed me over to the senior prefect at the time, Ms. Titilayo Obadina, which she was the senior prefect at the time. I was the only Form 1 student, and she had me in a room. Our sets, our friends, our colleagues, you know, they all spoiled me. They called me a Somakinde. You know, everybody, they don't punish me. No one punished me.
Wow, that's great news.
No, I didn't go through that. So even when they bring water to her, they give me water.
Wow.
So when I said culture shock, a little culture, I remember this. You know, when I went to AGGS, that was the first time in my life that I would eat out. You know, like we call buka food, right? Mama
Yes.
food, right?
Yes.
So the first time I ate the food, you know, that is coming to my mind now. When I ate the food, I was sick. I was vomiting. I had diarrhea. So I had to go home. So my dad, you know, got the doctor to hydrate me at home. I went through that. But when I went back to school, my body now become the champion. I can eat any mama put food. Nothing will happen to this body. So it was a great experience at AGGS.
Wow. I love listening to all these episodes from the past because I was actually nowhere to be found then. So it's really a great blessing and honor to be listening to my mommies and aunties, you know, learning more about the great school that we all graduated from. I know that back in the days, we used to have career counselors. I'm not sure whether we had one at AGGS when you were there, but I'm just curious. When I hear Mommy Ajibola talking about being an industrial chemist, like how did you come to that realization that this is the course I want to study? Industrial chemistry, Auntie Titi studying nursing. We're going to come to you, Auntie Titi. But Mommy Ajibola, how did you get to that point whereby you say, you know what, I want to study industrial chemistry?
I've always been in love with chemistry.
Okay.
And I've known right from a very young age that whatever I will be in the future will be in line with chemistry.
Okay.
Back in 1975 at AGGS, I was attempting chemistry for the first time. And I can remember vividly my chemistry teacher then, who was a fashionista,
Okay.
a very beautiful Edo woman who was always on point with her dressing. Her appearance and disposition to us as students attracted me more to chemistry, and it became my best subject. All through my stay at AGGS and everywhere I've gone to, like Comprehensive High School Ayetoro, right all through from AGGS to Comprehensive High School Ayetoro, I encountered teachers in chemistry that were really interested in my progress in chemistry. What they saw, I didn't know. For example, at AGGS, whenever we did chemistry test, there was a Dupe Oguntoyinbo who scored the highest mark. She may score 25 over 30, and I'll score 23 over 30. But the teacher will still use my script when you have to do correction for us in the class. So I think I can remember one very well now. When Mr. Ayodele was asking us, we should differentiate. We should tell him why in the manufacturing of nitric acid, it has to be all glass apparatus. I will never forget that. And my answer was simple and short. At that tender age, my answer was all the apparatus will be glass because nitric acid will attack any other material you use in producing it. The man was shocked and said, you can imagine a girl in Form 4, because we didn't do GSS 1, GSS 2. Mine was class 1, class 2, class 5. All apologies to Sheung.
You made us do extra year.
So he said, you can imagine a girl in class 4 answering the chemistry question this way. I wonder what she will become in chemistry in the future. And at that age, all of us, that got into me, and like, I will not want to disappoint this teacher. When I was in comprehensive high school, I told the same thing. All my teachers were interested in me in chemistry. And by the time I was leaving comprehensive high school, it was concluded in my mind that I'll be studying chemistry. Now, I hated the idea of a single honor degree. I wanted something very more professional.
Okay.
Call it useful exuberance if you like. You know what you want to happen. So when you tell me you are studying medicine, my parents didn't wanted me to study medicine. Okay. My mom tried for me to study medicine, but it wasn't just in me. There was something in me with chemistry that can never let go. But I didn't want the idea of a single honors in chemistry.
Yes.
I wanted to sound professional.
Okay.
So the only thing that came to my teenage brain was industrial chemistry.
Industrial chemistry.
That was it. Yeah, I told myself I would study industrial chemistry. But at that time, only University of Benin and University of Ilorin were offering industrial chemistry. It's now all over Nigerian universities.
Yes. So
when I took my JAMB form, we have the privilege of 3 options for the universities and 3 options for the course of studies. My case was so bad that in the 3 spaces for the universities, I wrote University of Benin, University of Benin, University of Benin.
So just one school?
Yes. For the course of studies, I wrote industrial chemistry, industrial chemistry, industrial chemistry. A kind of warning the admission officer that don't waste your time giving me any other admission. I am coming to your school if I must come to study industrial chemistry.
Wow. And that is some type of conviction, though. Like, you're super sure this is exactly what you want, and you were ready to give anything to get it.
Yes.
Wow, that is amazing. And I love the idea of not wanting, ordinary chemistry sounds ordinary. So when we add that industrial chemistry, that's present.
Yeah, flavor.
That's flavor. Okay. I love that. And thank you so much, Ma, for sharing that. We are so proud of you. You are flying high, and we are, towing your footsteps. We are towing that path of greatness that you have blazed ahead of us. Auntie Titi, now I'm coming to you. How did you settle for your career choice? I know that when I wanted to go into the university, it was so confusing. I was hearing so many voices from several places, including my parents, the aunties on the streets, the people that have seen visions, like, oh, I knew you since you were young, you should be a doctor. One would say you should be a pharmacist. It was so confusing. But how did you choose your own career path?
Okay, thank you, Sheon, for the question. Choosing my career path was with the help of my parents and my hobby. When I was in AGGS from 3, I was in science classes. I love physics, chemistry a little bit. I'm not like Miss Ajibola, a little bit of chemistry, physics, but I love maths. And I think here we call it calculus. So my career, I've always wanted to be a pharmacist, really. So I was taking all those courses. It came to a point in my life. My experience is a little bit different than Mrs. Ajibola. So it came to a little point that my maths teacher is always, my dad, even paid him to teach me maths, out of school. But some things happened, my dad was kind of known in Abeokuta, and, anytime we're in class, he always pick on me. It came to a point in Form 4 that he started picking on me. No matter what I say, he would bring my dad up that, no matter what you do, you're going to leave Nigeria, your dad is going to do this. And my parents did not raise us that way. My dad even told us, I remember growing up, that he didn't have anything. Everything he has is in the bank, that is not for us. So he always teaches us to be humble. Likewise, my mom. So I was like, where is this man coming from? What is he talking about? But I was fighting it as a little girl, trying to belong, trying to be humble, and trying to face my studies. But it came to a point it was too much. By the time it was too much, I decided to drop those classes. Now, what do I need to do? I had to now go to history class, pick a Yoruba class to add to my credit so that I can pass the class. Well, at the end, I couldn't make it. And by the time my dad knew about it, he was like, okay, you have to take that class again. I said, okay. So I was supposed to graduate in 83. So I had to stay back 1 year. And that was why I graduated in 84. So my career, when I was at AGGS, I love home management. Oh my goodness. I love to decorate anything nice, anything beautiful, I love to decorate. So when I graduated, I said, you know what? I'd like to do food science and management. So I applied at Polytechnic, Ogun State Polytechnic, and I was admitted for food sciences. So one day, my dad reminded me that I woke up and I came to him and I said, Daddy, I don't think I should do food science, even though I love all these things. I love to manage, decorate. But when you get older, who's going to take care of you? My two sisters did biz at me. They were in London at the time. That who's going to take care of you? That, you know what, Daddy? I want to be a nurse. I want to take care of you. So my dad said, you want to be a nurse? How do you know? When have you been thinking about this? I said, Daddy, I think I would love to be a nurse to take care of you when you get older. So he said, okay, maybe next week we go to Luth and we see, if we can apply at Luth, and if they accept you, you can stay there and do your nursing. So I prayed. We went to Lagos with my dad, and, we fill out the application. There was an exam that we have to take. My results were good. So I was admitted. So that is why when I went to Luth in 1985, May, I was in Luth till 1988. When I graduated from Luth, I worked at Lagoon Hospital for a while. And then, that same year, 1988, my dad came to me and said, do you want to go to US? I said, yes, with my brother. And that is how I came to US. And I came to US, I continue in that, I finished my BSN, and I finished my Master's of Business Admin in Healthcare Management.
Wow. Two different women, two different pathways. Our faces may be similar, but our pathways are different. And today, you both are doing great things. We're going to get into all the great things that you're doing. But right now, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, you're going to continue your story. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
I'm happy to belong to AGGSOGA. The phenomenal woman, who is she? She's a source of inspiration. She is smart, she is intelligent. She sees possibilities, not difficulties. She has confidence to take on any challenges. She is humble. She craves neither praise nor disgrace. She is able to accept criticisms which she turns into power. But make no mistake in all this, she is human. She could fall, but she soon rises again with determination to attain her goals. She is devoted to her Creator. We are celebrating with pride two of our own today, Mrs. Titilayo Unegbu and Mrs. Elizabeth Ajibola, both of them titans in their chosen fields. I see the phenomenal woman in each and every one of us. Yes, it could be you.
Yes, it could be you, and it's actually you. If you're watching me, you're a phenomenal woman. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the making of the phenomenal woman brought to you by AGGSOGAs. My name is Sheon Akinloton, class of 98, and I'm your moderator today. Our guests are Mrs. Elizabeth Ajibola, class of 78. And we also have Mrs. Titilayo Unegbu, class of 84. I'm going to bring them back on and we're going to continue the conversation. Welcome back, Ma.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ma. So, Mommy Ajibola, I know that back in the days, because I used to hear stories from my dad, my mom, that there were a lot of opportunities that were provided by the federal and the state government. And I'm just curious, were you a beneficiary of any of these opportunities, maybe like scholarships, benefits to travel abroad? And if yes, could you please share some of those opportunities with us?
Yeah, thank you very much, Shim. Before I go into that, I want to add something. You were asking the other time if there were career counselors at our own time.
Yes, Ma.
And I wish to add that there were actually career counselors.
Okay.
I didn't have the luxury of benefiting from any one of them.
Okay.
I encountered one. I went for counseling one time, but I ended up being more confused. So there were counselors, but they were not useful to me.
Okay.
That's just about that.
Okay,
To the question, our own time, things were milder and people were more truthful. I can remember now that after my A-levels at the Comprehensive High School, Ayetoro, I cleared all my papers brilliantly. And I say that today with nostalgia. I cleared all my papers brilliantly. And when I went to Compro to pick my results, I was paid the sum of 150 naira.
Wow.
As bursary from Ogun State government. Not only me, to every student that originated from Ogun State.
Wow.
This was a time when graduates were earning 67 naira per month, 60 naira, I'm not too sure, but thereabout. So I took my results and I collected 150 naira bursary. From there, I moved to University of Benin. And throughout my stay at UniBen, I stayed for 3 years because I did A-levels. I didn't have to do prelim again. I took 421 naira every year from Ogun State government, effortlessly. They looked for you. The
and you didn't have to know anyone. It was just
no.
Wow.
Anybody who belongs to my class will corroborate what I'm saying. The forms will be brought to you. At university, you have Ogun State Student Association,
yes,
Ogun State Association. So you collect those forms from them, fill your form and return to them, and your bursary comes to you. If anybody tries that now, the bursary will leave the coffers of the government. It will never get to
the hands of the people.
We didn't have to know anyone. I took bursary all through my stay.
Wow.
At HSC and university. Now,
that's amazing.
Yeah. And in the university, our stay in the university is another story. Is another kettle of fish, because it was 50 naira ticket, 50 kobo per meal food that we were eating.
Did you have to pay for that?
Say that again?
Did you have to pay for that, Ma?
No, we paid for our meal. It was 50 kobo per meal. Okay. You buy your meal ticket at the beginning of the semester. So one meal, you give a ticket for a meal. no matter how greedy you are, you will not be able to eat 3 times a day.
Wow.
Because the portion, the rations were just too big for you to
And
finish.
this is Nigeria you are describing, ma'am. Because I
Yes.
didn't experience this.
I am talking of University of Benin between 1981 and 1984 that was there.
Wow.
When Adamu Baike was my vice chancellor and later Alele Williams.
This is
So
amazing.
our breakfast would be like bread, corned beef, fried egg or boiled egg, coffee and tea, but fruits, fruit juices.
For 50 kobo?
Say that again.
You paid 50 kobo for all this you're
50
describing.
kobo. You choose what you want to eat.
Wow.
And when they serve you food, like if it's rice now and chicken, I mean, it can't be more. It can't be more than a whole chicken shared between 3 people. So when and after the meal, after your first ration, you can go back and tell them you want more.
Wow.
So it was a life of luxury. Although towards my final year, I remember between April 1984 and June, I left Uniben. Our food now became rice nearly every day. Because I think Babangida came in that time and said the government could not sustain what was going on. And that was the time trouble came into existence, into the educational system of this country. That was the time when university education was a leveler. My classmates were children of ministers. Emovon, Minister for Science and Technology in Nigeria, was my classmate. Ugochukwu, his daughter was my classmate. Those that were going to school abroad our own time were those that could not pass JAM or pass their A levels.
Wow.
They were usually children of the rich. It was a pride to be able to go to university in Nigeria at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, and I left uni then, 1984. I went on youth service, going to the University of Ibadan for my MSc degree. There were forms. Forms were always available at the scholarship board or Bureau for External Aids at Ikoyi, Bibadu Road in Lagos. This information was there. These forms were available. So
For
I got
anyone?
Yes, 21. My parents were not civil servants. My father was a banker, my mom was a teacher. I never knew anyone in government. And I still got a federal government scholarship for my MSc. Yeah.
We
So
need to
living
bring
in
our
Ibadan,
Nigeria back.
yeah, living in Ibadan, as I was rounding up now, I finished my MSc and I was signed on for my PhD by Professor Kayode Adeshogun. May God bless his memory. He signed me on for a PhD, and few weeks into the PhD, I got another scholarship, a Commonwealth scholarship to study petrochemicals and hydrocarbon chemistry at the University of Manchester, Institute of Science and Technology in the UK.
Wow.
But unfortunately now, from what I told you of my last the last phase of my stay at Uniben,
Yes.
things were beginning to change. The scholarship never scaled through. It didn't come through.
Okay.
I had to be sponsored privately. So at our own time, there were lots and lots of opportunities. And the only way the children of the rich and the children of the poor could come together was via university education. The reason I bleed today and cry when I see what our schools have become. I enjoyed all these I've told you.
Yes.
But I'm not proud to have sent many of my children to university in Nigeria.
Wow.
It's a pain somewhere in me, but it's something we cannot help.
Wow. Wow, this is amazing. I find it difficult to believe that you're actually describing Nigeria because I didn't experience any of this. It was a struggle to go to the university. It was a struggle, you know, when you have 4 kids and you have to send them to the uni out of pocket. It was a lot of money and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. So it's really heartwarming for me to hear that Nigeria was once a good country that actually cater to the needs of the people through education and providing for the basic amenities. But right now, what is going on is so saddening. It's disheartening, and we pray that we can truly do something about it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ma. And Titi,
You're welcome.
how about you? Were you a beneficiary of any government scholarships, funds, or anything that helped you in your education?
Thank you, Sharon. I wasn't a benefactor of any scholarship in Nigeria. My parents sponsor me most of the time. But when I was at Luth School of Nursing, I remember they were paying us $350 every month. When we're in school, they pay us at the end of the month. They will give us that check for us to keep. We also go to the cafeteria free. 3 square meal. They will give us 3 good square meal to eat. So those are the benefits that I enjoyed when I was at Luth, which I know right now they are not getting that. It stopped, after we finished, I think.
Wow. All these benefits. You didn't leave some for us, though. For coming behind. We need to bring back all the benefits. We need to bring back all the benefits. Oh, that is great. So now I'm hearing industrial chemistry, I'm hearing nursing. But today, when you were introducing yourself, Mommy Ajibola said that she's the CEO and she's part of the board of directors. And I'm hearing entrepreneurship. Auntie Titi is telling me that she's the founder of Tile Healthcare Services. That's entrepreneurship. How did you venture into entrepreneurship? Why didn't you go through the normal career path? I'm going to start with Mommy Ajibola. Tell us the story behind that.
May I hear the question again?
I wanted to know how you got into entrepreneurship.
Into what?
Into entrepreneurship.
Okay. Thank you. I didn't plan to go into self-employment.
Okay.
Chance happened to me. And because I don't waste time with chances, I grabbed the opportunity with the whole of my limbs. After my MSc in the UK, I got a job with ICI, Imperial Chemical Industries. And I was working with them with research chemist. The same company became CAPL in Nigeria. That is Chemical and Allied Products Limited. Ever since I became a chemist, I've always loved to be mixing colors and be getting different colors, getting results. It can keep me busy for a whole year. It keeps me fulfilled. When I'm mixing colors and colors are coming out, and I can keep on and on for a whole year. So I was in the lab one of these days. Normally we close 4:15, but I will never close with my mates. And I remember the day I was employed with 5 other men. We were 6.
Okay.
I was the only girl amongst them.
Okay.
And boys who they are. They are brilliant, but they want to play. And me, by nature, I'm extremely hardworking. So they all befriended me. So we were giving work orders. They would tell me, "Shonako, please help me. I couldn't, this color match, and I couldn't get the color." And I'll say, "No, leave it, I'll do it for you." So all the time I would close late. I was always the last one in the research lab to close. So one of such afternoons I was there, and I had a voice loud and clear in my ears that said, "And you will start a company." We have closed. I was all alone in the lab. I will never forget that.
Okay.
That you will start a company, and the name will be called Maranatha Chemical Ventures Limited.
Wow.
Maranatha is an Aramaic word that means our Lord cometh, like saying Jesus comes. I know that because I'm a very strong believer in God.
Hallelujah.
I'm a very strong believer in His word, and I believe extremely strongly in the efficacy of prayer.
Amen.
Yeah, so when I had that, I looked around. I was all alone in the lab. I wrote the name down. Then, back in that, I'm talking about CAPL now, ICI in Nigeria now.
Yes.
My paint director was an Igbo man
Hmm.
who had his chemistry degree from the UK.
Okay.
And as the time I was meeting him, he has worked 30 years with ICI.
Hmm.
So each time the man was talking to me, I was busy looking at his pair of shoes.
Wow.
I've been wondering, how can a graduate of chemistry have worked for the same company I'm eager to work for 30 years, and his shoes are like this?
Hmm.
This is not my ambition. It got so bad. Excuse me, please.
It's okay,
It got
ma.
so bad. It got so bad one day. He said, Sholape, you look at my shoes all the time. I was shocked. I said, yes, sir, because I admire your shoes.
You didn't know what to say, so you had to
But
go.
I was making up my mind.
Hmm.
So at the appropriate time, coupled with the name that I had, it's a very long story. I had to leave CAPL and first of all began with selling raw materials to people.
Okay.
And it was from selling raw materials to entrepreneurs that I knew, all I've known all along has been sophisticated manufacturing processes.
Okay.
I didn't know it's possible to produce anything without stainless steel because my microbiology understanding was that anything you do without stainless steel will be contaminated. But dealing with these small industries, I could now
It opened your
see
eyes.
that, oh, it's really possible to improvise and do this. And I said to myself, if I won't do this now, I will never do it.
Wow.
So I began the production. And when I was to go and register my company, my mind, the same spirit that quickened me back in CAPL that year came heavily upon me. I've forgotten the name, but that name came back heavily. And I registered the name. But today we thank God, the rest is history. I thank God I use that name because information is power.
Information is
Information
power.
is wealth. Information is security. And
Hallelujah.
I think God has been extra gracious to me in that area.
Oh, sure. It sure is. Wow, that is an amazing story. I picked some few things while you were speaking. You had said that when you started working, you had 5 or 6 people. You were the only female. But one thing that you said struck me, was the fact that when everybody had left, when they go home, you stayed back. What motivated you to stay back? And usually I know some people were asking you to maybe do some research or help them find solutions to their problems, but what were you doing staying back? You were working extra hours? Were they paying you extra for staying back? Or because it's amazing to know that we still have people that are willing to go above and beyond the call of duty. I just wanted to know what inspired you to stay back, and when you stayed back, what exactly were you doing, ma'am?
Thank you very much, Shim. Naturally, I love knowledge.
Okay.
And any of my classmates watching today will testify that I'm a bookworm. I'm not ashamed. It's been the name I've been carrying all my life. When I began reading, it wasn't too easy.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I was utterly mullish as a child. And I never wanted to read, though very brilliant. When I got to secondary school, when you were a local champion, the primary school I was coming from, I was always on top of the class.
Okay.
Everybody in my class, in my school, knew me in primary school. But now you are leaving your local primary school now to meet everybody now from all over the world. So if you don't read, you will not pass. I used to have a close friend who is still my friend till today, and my classmate at AGGS, that said something to me one day. She said, and I quote, "If you don't read a book in a day, you have not started." And that got to me. I didn't know when it just got to me. And from there on, I began. And before that happened, my Form 2 to Form 3, I was promoted on trial.
Wow.
And my father was thoroughly disappointed in me. This was a man that would buy me gifts every time because he placed a price on it. If you come between first and third, you collect a gift from him. He was thoroughly disappointed in me, and that got at me too. So from my Form 3 at AGGS, I began serious reading.
Wow.
But from now on, when I got to ICI Nigeria CAPL now,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I didn't stop reading. Intention or ability to know more keep on spurring me to read. And they had a comprehensive laboratory
Okay.
and library at ICI. You can do 10 PhD at the same time. Remember at that time, we didn't have access to internet.
Yes. So
We
you
had
have
something called, we had something called microfiche, like a macro computer.
yes.
My boss then, Mr. Somerville, an Australian, got so much interested in me. I was the only person he taught how to operate it.
Wow.
And that thing fascinated me. So I wanted to go back there to search for information, to read a lot. I was single, I wasn't married that time. And let me tell you, if you know British organizations, they don't joke with money. We closed 4:15. My pay stopped at 4:15. If I like, I can be there till 12 midnight. Nobody will stop me. But I wasn't rushing anywhere. I wasn't the social type. So I was always buried in their laboratory, free of charge, training and retraining myself.
Wow. And you didn't think that you were doing your employer a favor, because a lot of people tend to think that when you stay back to learn, when you're giving so much, they feel like, oh, your employer is overusing you, without thinking of the fact that you're actually helping yourself. Each time you serve, each time you learn, that knowledge stays with you. And that is what we have today. And we're so proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. I'm going to bring in Auntie Titi to hear about our journey into entrepreneurship. Auntie Titi.
Yes, thank you, Sheon. Entrepreneurship, I think I was born into it. I came from parents that were business. They were in business when I was growing up, and I really learned so much from my dad. He always teaches us to be ourselves, put in everything that we have in order to do well in life. So when I came to United States, I worked as a registered nurse. I took my board, I passed my exam, I worked as a registered nurse. While I was working, I worked for years in leadership. I worked as a charge nurse. I started from the base. The basic is the charge nurse position. So I did that. And later on, because I always work so hard, I know leadership, management, anything that has to do with that. I really, I love it. So I was promoted to be a supervisor. From being a supervisor, just like what Mrs. Ajibola said, whatever that you do, put in everything.
Yes.
Don't take any job as if you are working for someone. That is an advice. The same way you're going to do your own business, do it for others, because that is how they will see the potential in you. So my supervisors always see potential. The owner of the company, I remember one time I was working as a supervisor, and somebody had to go to a meeting, a management meeting, and they said, Titi is in the building, let her go. This is a white person, so like we say back home, So I was chosen to go for this seminar, and I continue to develop myself. I work for the company, but while you are giving back, while you are doing this, you are also developing yourself.
Yes.
Quality improvement is one thing that I love so much. You always have to look at what you do. How can you make it better? So anytime I do something, I always go back. Did I do it well? What can I tweak to make it a little bit better? So that is what I kept doing, and I keep improving myself.
Wow.
So after a while, I was promoted to be the assistant director of nursing. So that is like now I'm moving to the sister position, for Nigerian nurses. I did that for some years, and then I applied. There was a position that came up as the director of nursing. So I applied for that. That is now, if you're looking at Nigerian, it's a matron type of position. It might be a little more here because you don't do more of the clinical part. You do more of the administration, the management of the building, the nursing department, and you do your budget and everything. So I did that for like 15, 20 years.
Wow.
While I was doing this, I started thinking, I think it's time for me to start something on my own, to have my own business. At the same time, I was married. I have my beautiful children. I was in school. So all these things that I'm telling you wasn't done, just one thing at a time. I was pregnant.
Wow.
Delivering my babies, being a manager, have staff that I have to supervise and manage. And at a point, I had to manage 2 buildings. So
Wow.
from one building to the other as a director of nursing, they paid me for it. It was nice. The building, they were having difficulty. The state was going to take the building from the company. And the owner called me one day and she said, you know what, Titi, if you can manage this building in Baltimore, you can manage the one in Silver Spring. So they gave me my package. So I said, I'll do it. So at that time, I managed the 2 buildings. So with the help of God, because my parents raised us, no matter what you do, you always have to put God first.
God
and
first.
And that stays with me. I pray so much, and I'm so happy that I also have a spouse that believe in that. So we started praying. When it's time for me to open my own, I didn't just leave my present job. I continue with that job. Yes. Because for you to have a business in this country it's not easy. You have to go through the registration, like Mr. Ajibola said, also in Nigeria. You have to have your business plan. And what helped me to be able to do all this? I will give it, is always good to have the knowledge.
Yes.
When I did my first degree and my master's in healthcare management, everything come to place. Because to write your policies and procedure, to write your business plan for Department of Health to accept it in different states, you have to know what you are doing. When I wanted to start, people were telling me, you have to get a consultant. At that time, they were charging like $20,000.
Yes.
For you to register, for them to help you to write your business
Put
plan.
together the package.
Yes. So, but with thanks to God, with my education, I don't have to pay anyone $20,000. I sat down in my room.
Filled all the paperwork.
After work, I started writing with my computer. I came up with my business plan. I registered my business by myself. I wrote my policies and procedure. I went through my survey. How do I pass my survey? Because it wasn't easy for those of you that live in the United States.
Yes.
When the surveyors come to your building, you will start peeing on your But with the experience, so I will always advise, know any field that you want to go into.
Yes, be experienced.
I've dealt with a lot of surveyors. I know what they expect from you, the customer service, the knowledge of the business that you want to go into. You have to have that. Don't go into a business because someone is going to write it for you and you don't know your policies and procedure. When they come to you and they ask you any question, be ready because they are asking you. You are the business owner. So they will come to you and ask you questions based on what is in your policies and procedure. People always think, I'm not the one that's going to go and do all this work. I don't need to know. You need to know because you are your business. You are the face of your company.
Yes.
So I wrote everything. I submitted. I went through my survey. I passed my survey. and they gave me my license to practice.
Wow, congratulations, ma. And
Thank
how many
you.
years have you been doing this?
I've been doing this since 2006.
Wow,
The
that's a long
first
time.
delay that I opened was in the state of Florida, and the second one is in the state of Maryland.
Wow, that's amazing. That's 15 years and counting. We're so proud of you, Ma. I love what you said about any business that you're going into. Be sure that you're experienced. Be sure that you have certain level of knowledge in that industry, so
Yes.
that you are able to properly direct the affairs of the company. Thank you so much, Ma. Now,
you.
I want to go into another question. And this question is about funding, because I know that entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. And a lot of people would say that the only thing that is stopping them from becoming entrepreneurs is the fact that they don't have funds. Now, Mrs. Ajibola, I know that starting a chemical company is not cheap. How did you go about funding? And what advice would you like to give to people that are thinking of going into business but they don't have funding?
Thank you, Shane. First of all, I would like to say that no business is easy. Either manufacturing outfit, buying and selling. To me, manufacturing is easier for me because I have the background. Marketing will be easier for a marketer. And except you struck oil in your background or you're a politician in Nigeria, I say that literally and figuratively, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
No business, it be that as it may. I began this business by the grace of God in 1995. And at the beginning, I had, in my own savings account, I think I had 70,000 naira, which was a lot of money that time. But because I did not know how to start small, I invested the entire sum on soap manufacturing, and the entire money went away.
Wow.
So I had to take a soft loan of
Okay.
70,000 naira now from a friend.
A friend.
Remember I told you
Yes.
how God gave me the name of this company.
Yes.
And he knew, because he's a God who knows the end from the beginning. He knew that when I will break into this business, I will need 70,000 naira. I had that in my savings account.
Okay.
But due to carelessness, I lost the money. And I was now forced to look for loan from a friend of mine. Let me quickly say here, every single person planning to go into business or self-employment in Nigeria, because I live and work in Nigeria,
Okay.
bank loan should be the last option. I crave the indulgence of people in accounting, wizard me, because that's what they were taught in school. I didn't go to any business school. I didn't do any accountancy. But by the grace of God, I've been in this business from 1995 to 2005. I was the MD, the Chief Executive Officer.
The marketer.
I was the marketer.
The accountant.
I was the accountant, as if you took that from my mouth. And as
officer.
As at that time, I'm telling you, the capital base, because we started Ajibola and Company Limited from Maranatha. As at this time, I was everything in the company. Our capital base was exactly the budget of Ogun State, particularly year 2004. And I managed my account with the bank so well that my bank's MD that time, Mrs. Bola Adeshola, who is now the MD of Standard Chartered Bank, said, Madam Maranatha, your standards are high. You can only strive to meet up. Because when it comes to that, I am a very, very shrewd businesswoman, very prudent, highly disciplined. But the nucleus of the matter is, this is the conclusion of the whole matter. I started small.
Wow.
Anybody trying to go into business be it manufacturing, be it buying and selling, whatever it might be, start small.
No.
If you start too big, your fall will be too hard. Like mine was very hard and quite painful. But if you start small, you make your mistakes. Definitely, you must make mistakes at the beginning of businesses. So you make your mistakes. If your tentacles are not spread too far, you correct your mistakes, you double up, you learn, and you move on. So you keep moving. I took not even a loan. I borrowed 70,000 naira from a friend of mine, and I kept sponsoring the business by the grace of God through massive ploughing back of profit. Because really at the beginning, our business was very profitable. I did not do any untimely announcement of arrival. I will explain what I mean.
Yes.
There was no room for any untimely announcement of arrival. That see me, I'm making money. The time I was making money up to the point of Ogun State, if you meet me on the road, you'll be thinking I'm a secondary school girl. I don't give a shit. Because if you are traveling very far, you will load deep. You don't expose what you shouldn't expose. People don't need that information. You need your information. Why do you want to expose yourself? Is in Nigeria, I see people doing business, making 1 million in a year, and they'll be living and portraying themselves like they're making 100 million. The undoing is this. People, onlookers will be treating you like 100 million, and the enemies who have will be like 100 million naira owner. We are not only 1 million naira.
This is wisdom. This is great wisdom,
So
right?
I would say you start small.
Start small.
No untimely announcement of arrival.
No untimely announcement of arrival.
Then instead of going to banks for loan, because Nigerian bank loans are fashioned never to be paid back.
All bank loans are fashioned.
They are fashioned not to be paid back. So if you're starting small, you can consult cooperative society.
Okay.
They really help one another. I have never belonged to one, but they really help one another. You can ask friends who are capable and want to buy into your business.
To buy into your idea.
Yes, no, into the business, into the product, whatever it is. Once it's lucrative, show them the feasibility study. Once you can convince them and they are able and they are capable and interested, they will bring out money. Then you have to be very careful of the kind of people you bring into the business. I wasn't too quick to employ people. I needed help. I began with casual workers, trying to study them. Who and who can align with the culture of this company?
And the vision where we're taking the
company. Who can flow and move at my frequency? Who will understand, who among them understand my dream and passion? So I wasn't too quick to bring in every Tom, Dick, and Harry. It was very, very excruciatingly difficult at the beginning.
I know.
And that was it. And coupled with the fact that 1995, I was nursing a baby.
Wow.
I had a little boy in my hand in 1995. But I damned all consequences by the grace of God. And here we are today.
Wow. This is amazing. This is great. I don't know if you're watching right now. This is pearls of wisdom that you need to capture. You can't let it go just like that. So if you've not been taking notes, I would advise you to get your notepad right now and write this down. I love you had a message for me, and I love how you said that for 10 years you were the chief operations officer, you were the accountant, you were the manager, the marketer. This is great because entrepreneurship can be overwhelming, and sometimes you feel like you need people, but you're saying that we need to understudy the type of people that we're bringing. We need to avoid the temptation of untimely announcement.
Yeah.
And there's this urge sometimes, when you're doing something, you want to put it out there, you want people to know. And you also said, don't have 1 million and then be portraying or projecting yourself as the 100 million person. That right there, we need to wrap it up and just put it so that we can see it daily and use it as a daily mantra. Thank you so much, Ma. We
You're
really
welcome, my
appreciate
dear.
that. I want to read some of the comments from the comment section. So Omolara Bankole Ma said, well done, Elizabeth. God will bless God will enlarge your coast. Someone is thanking you, Ma. Someone said, great discussion. Shoboye Jotolilokwe says, start small, wonderful enlightenment. That's by Destiny Saiti. Patoki Adirayo says, you are too much. Yes. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Mrs. Patoki. Joy Oji says, start
And Sheung,
Ma.
can I come in there? That Fatoke Aderayo
Yes,
was
Ma.
the girl that told me in Form 2 that if you don't read a book in a day, you have not done anything. She
Wow.
was the girl that spurred me to begin to read.
Wow. And she sowed that seed inside of you, and that seed grew into something beautiful that we all see today. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Mrs. Flatoki. We appreciate you. Thank you for being a good friend. Shoboye Jotolilokwe says, be careful of the kind of people you bring into business. Absolutely. Shike Adetu says, yes, Ma. Also, when taking funds from family and friends, make it legal. That's a good advice right there. Thank you everyone for engaging. If you have not shared this video, please go ahead and share with your friends, bring in more people, because what we're doing right now, it might seem small, but we are sowing seeds of greatness into other people. And we really thank our two mommies for sharing with us today, because we know they are very busy. If you know what I did to get them, Okay. All right, Auntie Titi.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship funding is a big deal. And we've heard Mommy Ajibola say that start small, start with what you have. And I also wanted to say something. She said that she had 70,000 naira that she used in starting her business. That shows prudence, because if she was a salaried employee, if she was spending everything and using all her 10 fingers to eat, she would not have any reserve. So a lot of people tend to think that, oh, when I'm ready to go into entrepreneurship, I can get money from family and friends. No family and friend would invest in you unless they see that you have also invested something. So nobody wants to join a stationary bus. People want to join a bus that is moving and has a destination. So if you truly want to do something in life, you got to be prudent. You have to start from somewhere. People have to see something in your hands that you are putting to the table before you can ask other people to contribute. So, Auntie Titi, how did you go about funding? How did you start your business? Funding is a big deal, but is it a deterrent to starting a business? We want to hear from you, Ma.
Thank you, Sheon, for the question. I agree with Mrs. Ajibola. You always want to start small. If you start a business big, you will really fall big. When you start small, you'll be able to manage it. When I started, like Mr. Ajibola said, I did everything. I was the financial person. I didn't have an accountant. I did everything by myself. I'm the housekeeper. So to the point that I started seeing my patient by myself, so that I don't pay everything that I make out in the beginning. When I start getting big, that was when I started hiring more staff to do different things. One day I remember one of the patients did not even know that I'm the owner of the business. She was giving me compliments and she said, I'm going to call the office and tell them how good you are. So you always want to start small. So going back to the question, do you borrow money when you are starting a business? I will not advise you to borrow money, even though this is the United States. No friend, no family will give you fund in the United States, because everyone is also trying to make ends meet in this country. So when you are planning to start a business, just like what I said earlier, you have to keep your job. Make sure an income is coming in. Make it like a part-time job, a side job. Start small, make sure you have enough savings. You don't need so much, because if you are starting small, you don't need so much money. But start small, Still keep your job so that you have income coming in and you can be doing the business on the side. If you borrow money, I know some people, in United States, they have, some people can take business, you can't even get a business loan because you don't have a business yet. So no bank is going to give you that. Some people, I've heard some people saying they get a personal loan. There's no need for you to get a personal loan. Try and save before you get into the business. I know here everybody wants to be a business person. Yes, it is good to do it for yourself, but you need to work for somebody first. Work for somebody and have your experience. And when it comes to the funding, if you make $20 a day, plan to save some of that money. Don't spend everything. If you know you are planning to own your own business, you can do it with your own money instead of getting a loan at the bank.
Wow. Have a career that you're doing.
Yeah.
Start your business alongside your career. So at least it gives you the opportunity to test the waters, to make sure that that idea of your business is viable. Can this business truly be scaled? Can it grow? Only then should you then leave your job. And it depends on your circumstances. It depends on the type of idea you're working on. It depends on the industry that you find yourself. This is amazing. Thank you so much, ma'am. Right now, we're going to go on a very short break. And when we come back, we're going to discuss the challenges that you faced along this journey of becoming a phenomenal woman. To my audience, I would say stay tuned and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Oluwatoyin Adesanya, 1998 set. A phenomenal woman to me is somebody that has self-confidence. She has to be confident in her skin and in what she believes in. She has to be passionate about everything that she believes in. She doesn't have to be moved about what people feel, especially when she's right about the things she believes in. She has to be passionate. She has to be somebody that can strike the balance in her life and in other things that she's involved with. There should be a balance in her life. She has to be exceptional. She has to stand out. When you see her, she's standing out. And she has to be somebody that is happy in fulfilling her dreams. She has to fulfill her dreams to be happy in doing the things that she loves, and as well being passionate about others. That is who I believe a phenomenal woman is.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the Making of a Phenomenal Woman, proudly brought to you by AGGSOGAs. My name is Sheon Akinloton, class of 1998, and I'm your moderator for today. If you have not shared this video, please go ahead and share with other people so that they can join and benefit what you're benefiting right now. I want to go into challenges because no matter how glamorous a thing looks, there's always a story behind the glory. So right now, I'm going to ask our guests, no, they are not our guests, they are part of us, but our phenomenal women on the hot seat for today. Yes, hot seat. I'm going to ask them about their challenges and how they were able to solve them. Welcome back, mommies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Mommy Ajibola,
Yeah.
we all know that life is not a straight road. It's filled with bumps, highs and lows. And I'm sure that you've had your own share of it all. I want you to tell us and share with us some of the challenges that you had to go through running your business and how were you able to overcome those challenges?
Thank you very much, Sheon. First of all, I would like to say that any business is a spiritual warfare. And the challenges don't ever go away. In spiritual warfare, there is no resting time. So a business is a spiritual warfare. The challenges don't ever go away, but they keep transforming. When you resolve one, another one crops up. At the very beginning, my primary challenge was how to get the right team who will understand my dream, my passion,
Yes.
understand why they are coming to the company, not just to come and make an ends meet. I have served people with the whole of my strength. Everywhere I've ever worked, as a child and as a lady, my records are there. I never worked for the salary I was being paid. I was working as if I was working unto the Lord. No wonder the Lord repaid me and still repays me. I didn't want people that would come and work for me just to earn salary. It puts me off. It discourages me. I want how to get those that have my passion when the business is not theirs was a problem to me. But I devised a means of getting their emotion into my business. And that was when I began to employ people, I was totally involved. Till today, I am involved in the employment of my staff. Nobody comes to my company without crossing me. No. Relative, you see, in business, you don't hire anyone you cannot fire.
Wow.
I don't see reason why you should hire members of your family when they don't share your dream. But you can give them money to settle them up. I do that a lot. I give money to people to set them up while my own business remains an entity that it is or that God meant for it to be.
This is
But as we moved on, we got the right team, and the success of how well you overcome challenges in business depends on how well connected you are in the spirit realm. How well connected you are in the spirit realm and who you are connected to.
Wow.
That is number one. Number two, the quality of your product will fight so many challenges off for you. As I speak to you this evening because I'm talking from Nigeria, I know your afternoon there.
Yes.
I sell chemicals to nearly all the breweries in Africa. Our Nigerian breweries is one of the most sensitive customers when it comes to raw materials and intermediate materials. But I say today with all nostalgia that it's only Maranatha Chemicals product. They will give us go ahead to distribute to all their plants in Nigeria without getting to Igonu. They will never do that with any other company because we focus on our quality. We are well connected in the spirit with the Most High God.
Amen.
We focus on our quality, and we mind the kind of people that come into our organization, and by the grace of God, with a combatant, friendly but very combatant managerial skill.
Wow.
So challenges will be there. In businesses, they don't go away. So you have to devise, these are the 4 things I have done to overcome challenges, and we are still overcoming on a daily basis. And one thing you shouldn't joke with when you are doing business is don't ever forget your anchor. Because if you are working and making money, everybody wants to make money.
Yes.
Your friends will become your enemies and you will not know. So you can't afford to lose guard.
Wow.
My people will tell me that my antennae are always sharp and at alert.
Yes. It has to.
I have a son who has my kind of tongue, and he say, why are you always at alert? I will say because Christian Matthew was in me.
Yes.
So if you can hold on to God, you can focus on the quality of your product, whatever you are selling. You can mind the kind of people that come into your organization, and you train yourself with top-notch managerial skill. You are there. The challenges will be there, but you'll be thriving.
So 4 things you said, Ma. The first thing you said that struck me was the fact that business is a spiritual warfare.
Oh, yes, it is.
And then you said you should not hire someone you cannot fire.
Don't
I need
ever
to
try
write that
it.
one out. I'm going to write it out and blow it up and put it on my wall. Don't hire someone you cannot fire. And then you said that focus on the quality of your product. Wow. And then you also said we should invest in the type of people that we're bringing in. So
Oh,
nobody
yes.
is hired in your company without your knowledge, without your active participation. You don't delegate such duties to other people.
And we train them over and over again. Continuous. We
Yes.
spend a lot of money on training
Yes.
because my ambition and my aim remain the same. I don't want anyone to tamper with them. Then there's an incentive. By the
Okay.
grace of God, we pay them very well.
Yes.
If you since 1995, there are people that have been working with me that have not gone,
Wow. That is
and
amazing.
people working with me are majorly men. That's
Okay.
another funny thing. So, and if I travel for 3 months, things keep on going because they
Because
are
you've
paid
established
well.
systems and processes.
Yes, and they are well trained. Then, when you bring in business outside your salary, you collect 10% of the value of the LPO you bring in. You bring in. So they are motivated. And
Wow.
I'm not too sure if anyone wants to leave, he can get what he's getting with us easily. It's possible, nothing is impossible. Easily from any other place.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ma. I'm definitely blessed
You're
by
very welcome.
by your story and your knowledge and the depth. There's this depth that you bring to the table. Thank you so much, man. Depth doesn't come overnight. I know that. So it comes from years of experience and your
You're
willingness to
very
keep on
welcome.
learning and improving and adding value to others. Auntie Titi,
Yes,
business
yes.
is about challenges, and Mommy Ajibola just said that it doesn't end. It's present continuous, right?
Mm-hmm. It's right.
Present
Yeah.
continuous. So what are some of the challenges that you have faced as a business owner? I know that you have your own business and you are also the vice president of your husband's business. And I know that you are doing amazing work. So I want you to please share some of your challenges with us and how you were able to overcome those challenges.
Thank you, Sheon, for the question. Challenges goes like Mr. Ajibola said. It's throughout the business. You will always have challenges. What I also believe is the way you look at the challenges that you are faced with. Challenges comes every single day as long as you live. So I agree. The first one, what I always do is prayer. Because with God, I believe all things are possible. And also, it depends on how you look at those challenges. If you look at it as something that is going to make you or break you, it will make or break you. I always look at challenges as the opportunity to do better. So when challenges comes, I face it the way it comes. The first one you want to look at is, like Mr. Ajibola said, who are your team? When you are hiring a staff is a challenge. You don't know who you are hiring, even though you have their resume, you look at it, you review it, their experience is very important, and you do their reference check. But sometimes when they come in, it might be different. But you have to don't give up. Don't give up. I try not to give up on anyone. I retrain them, I meet with them one-on-one, and I talk with them. You monitor your business. Don't let go, like Mr. Ajibola said. It is your business. You always have to look at it on a daily basis. Don't think, okay, now I have someone managing this, and you let go. You always have to be there. Likewise, the same way, every single day when I leave the office and I come home, I still go through the two businesses that we manage to make sure things are going well. I'm fortunate to have a husband that is my husband. We are business. We run two businesses together and we come home. Yes, our home is home, but it's also part of the business. We also do business all the time. So we always talk about what happened during the day. How can we do better? What is it that we're going to do the next day? So some people always say, I can't work with my husband. How do you work with your husband? I'll tell you that's the best thing I've ever done. I will do it now and I will do it again in my next life, because I
Wow.
have someone that I can trust. I have someone that listen and will work together. So you look at the challenges that I faced in my business. Every business
Yes,
is
ma'am.
different. Yes, it's different. One of the challenges, when I started the business is, like I said earlier, is the inspection. You
Okay.
have to be ready to
Because they
have
do
a business.
unannounced inspections.
Yes, they are unannounced. They're not going to tell you anytime. They can stay coming. You have 1 hour to show up at the business. Even if you are anywhere, you have to show up, or you have someone that will represent you. So unannounced inspection, you don't know where they are coming from, the question they're going to ask you, the report they're going to ask, your employees file. You have to make sure that you have everything.
Important.
Yes, we're in a different, I know before in this country, so maybe some people hire people that don't have their papers. My type of business, you cannot do that, because the state can come in at any time to pick
To
an
conduct an audit.
employee's, yes, and do an audit and say, you know what? And if you do that, you have a fine. So at all times, I have to make sure that I see all my paperwork and everyone is able to work in the United States and they have their license. I cannot hire anyone that doesn't have their license to practice. Also, we have to do a background check of every single staff that we hire before they go into this to see the patient, because it has to do, there's a lot of abuse in this country. So we have to make sure we get a result before we assign them to any patient. Some of the challenges is also, especially now that we have COVID-19.
Wow.
Yes, I'm in a business that we do face-to-face visits with a client. So with COVID-19, no staff wants to go in to see any patient. We have to make sure we check their temperature. We have to make sure, sometimes we have to make sure that they have their COVID test. And thank God it's been done. They bring it to us before we assign them. We also, right now, we have to buy a lot of PPE and give it to all our staff to make sure that we protect them. They don't get sick when they go to see a patient, and they can also, while taking care of the patient, they're taking care of themselves, and they are comfortable to take care of the patient without thinking they're going to get sick and take the COVID-19 to their family. So all these are the things that are challenges that we faced. We spend more money now than we used to, because we have to buy more PPE. We have to train the staff. We have to talk to them to make sure that they are comfortable. We have to tell them if they are sick, they should let us know so that they don't go to the patient's home. Those are the challenges that, we are facing right now.
But you've been able to find a way around it and continue to innovate different ways.
Yes.
Can your staff meet with patients like online, maybe like Zoom meetings or something like that?
Yes. Thank God for technology. We're able to do some of that. But now some of it is going away, that we can't do so much, because you can't listen to somebody's long sounds with virtue. Yes. Wow. So you can do some of the questions, you can admit, do some of your paperwork, virtually, but most of it you have to go in and see the client before you can, get paid.
Thank you so much, Ma. I love how you said that you work with your husband. I think 2 heads are better than one. So it's great that you have your husband by your side to build your businesses together. I wish you continued success in your endeavors. And we're going to move on now. So some people might be listening to the two of you, looking at you like super women. How are you able to do this? How are you able to run your business, your life, your family? Let's talk about work-life balance. You seem like a magician right now, but I know that you are not. So please, Ma, I need to know how you are able to balance your business, your family, children. You said in 1995, Mommy Ajibola, you had a baby and you were also running a business. That's a lot of work. So how did you manage to maintain a balance? And what advice would you give to women that are thinking that it's not easy to manage a family and a business and a career and whatever they need to do?
Thank you very much, Sheung. I would love to say that business is a bit difficult for female entrepreneurs. And I dare say, with all sense of humility, that it is not for everyone. It is extremely and excruciatingly difficult, particularly at the onset. But it's not impossible.
Yes.
At the beginning, I told you I had a baby in my hands. I didn't have any social life. It was just church, home, and my work. I understand that God has given me a measure of wisdom, like He has given everybody, every woman like me. And I wasn't waiting for Him to do what He has given me brain to do. It is the problem, particularly, you see, I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility and humility. Without trying to castigate or be rude to anyone, our mentality about God and church and home and work in Nigeria is something else. Like I said originally, everybody who knows me closely will tell you that I'm a very, very strong believer in God.
Yes.
I'm proud to say that.
Anywhere.
Without Him, there will be no me. And God has given us abilities. He wouldn't have given me this big head and all the brain He has given me for me to come and be praying to Him again for things I can use my brain to do.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that.
So most women where we come from belong to that school of thought that we'll pray. I strongly believe in God and I pray a lot. And I told you, God gave me the name of this company.
Yes.
That takes back to another company. So which means I know this God. Be that as it may, that to be a female entrepreneur is very, very difficult, but it is not impossible. If you want to be successful in business as a woman, you must be able to pay 5 times the price a man is paying.
Wow.
Remember, your husband will go to work, and your husband will go to work. At the beginning of my work life, I remember one day my husband came back at about 1 a.m. after he has closed from work and has gone jar all over town. And me, I've been carrying babies and doing this. I will carry my baby early in the morning to my school at the Bells at a very small age. Entered my Nissan Blue bus station wagon and I would drive all the way to Benin Bende Brewery. He will get to school at 5:30 in the morning. By 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'll be inside Bende Brewery. I was the driver.
Yes.
And I'll do everything in a jiffy within 3 hours. I devised means of meeting people. That will be a story for another day.
I know. We need to
So
have
by 3 o'clock, I'll be back inside my car on my way back to Lagos. And that time the road was very smooth and good. It was Lagos to Benin was 3 hours.
Wow.
And I've always been a very fast driver. So by 5:36, I'll be back in the school. My son wasn't in the boarding house. He was a day student. So I had to pick him up. And I never on Sunday I got home. My husband came at about 12 or 12:30 in the night. And I was pretending as if I was sleeping. Hi. I got the shock of my life. This man came in. He said I should not be saying it. And he went to the dining table and opened all the food and did like this. I said, oh, can you imagine? A woman coming all the way from Benin. These are the things I'm talking about. It is more difficult for a woman to be an entrepreneur, to be self-employed. It isn't a ministry that is meant for everyone. Yes. But it's not impossible. Anybody can make up her mind to be one. And like the motto of our school, with God, everything is possible. I'm endowed with a lot of energy. By the grace of God, and I'm an extremely hardworking individual. I don't get tired of work, except I'm sick. If I sleep in the afternoon, then they'll be looking for doctors because it means I'm sick.
The body is shutting down.
I don't sleep in the afternoon, and I sleep like a baby at night. So if you want to be self-employed as a woman, you must be ready to pay 3 or 4 times the price a man is
Right.
paying, and you must be extremely hardworking. There will be no time for gossips.
Exactly. And no time for
Gossip is even till today too expensive for me. I don't have time for small talks. I don't have time for socials. It is now that we are showing up by the grace of God. We have people in our employment that can hold forth, that can work with us, we can leave things to do while we are supervising. So I do a little of socializing now. Prior to about 3-4 years ago, I had no social life. My life was just church, home, and my business. So once you are able to prepare to pay the price, it is possible. Our school motto says, with God, nothing is impossible. Nothing.
Wow. This is great. And thank you so much for sharing. So, ladies, women, grandmas, great grandmas, you've heard it. It's very difficult for a woman to be in business, but it's not impossible. And as a woman, you have to work 5 times as hard as a man. And Titi, we want to hear from you too. How do you maintain work-life balance? And what advice would you give to other women?
Thank you, Sheon. Just like what Mrs. Ajibola said, it is doable. The first thing is you put God first. The second thing is you have to want to do it. You have to be ready and have the energy to do it. Right now, with all the women, we have the power, we can do it. Because every single one of us have children, we have a home to keep. The business is just a little out of it. It is doable, but you just have to be able to multitask. You have to plan it to make sure that you are able to do it. Yes, your spouse, it's also good to have a supporting husband. If you don't have a supporting husband, it might be a little bit difficult. If your spouse is supportive, you'll be able to achieve it faster than somebody that doesn't have a supporting husband. In my case, I have a supporting husband. So if I'm tired, I'm tired. It's time to sleep. But for you to be a businesswoman, you have to work more than anybody. Remember what I said before, especially in the beginning. You have like 2 jobs that you are doing. You're working for somebody and you also have your own. You still have the children, you have the home. All my 4 children, I had them while I was working. I gave birth to all of them. I remember my last born was born 6 weeks after delivery, I went back to work. So you cannot give up. You have to continue to manage that home. And in this country, we are basketball mom. We are football mom. We are soccer mom.
Soccer moms.
Yes. You still want to do all this and still achieve your own career too. So you have to have a way. If you have to get a calendar to put everything so that you don't miss the children's basketball game, you have to do it. After a while, you will relax when they are grown. For instance, now I don't have to go because they drive, they go to their different activities. But in the beginning, when I started the business, as I'm doing the business, even sometimes I'm watching their basketball, I'm on the computer typing my business plan. I'm using one eye to watch the game, and I'm also doing my business.
Minding your business.
Yes. So you cannot let go of any. And your duty as a woman, you still want to do it. Because God make our men to be the head of the family. We don't want to be arrogant. Yes, you might be a business owner, but you still have to know that your husband is the head of the home.
Family. Wow. Thank you so much, Ma. So just try to juggle everything as much as you can and then
Yes.
just leave the rest. You have a question. There's a question for you, Ma, from
Yes.
Joy Oji. I'm going to put it on the screen. It says, Auntie Titi, if you're a full-time employee, how do you combine it with your personal business, especially when it involves meeting and attending to clients or customers?
Okay. That's a good question. Thank you for Miss Oji for asking me that question. Working full time, you have to have your schedule. So let me give you an example. In nursing, you work 7 to 3, and you are trying to develop your business, right? To start a business. Your
Yeah.
business, when you come back from work, is when you're going to do it. You don't want to do the business when you are working 7 to 3, but when you get off work, you pick up your computer. You might have a place that you are, maybe you have a mini office, or you are still having your home, and you are working on your planning, the developing of the business. After you now develop and you have your approval, then that is the time you can go out and start working. Like I said earlier, you might need to have some savings before you leave your present job. Immediately you get your approval and you start having your clientele, that is the time you might want to start leaving that full-time job, maybe to change it to a part-time job. But if you can do it, I've seen some women that they work night shift, full-time night, and they still run their full-time business during the day. It depends on what shoe you fall into. But what I'm saying is make it comfortable for you that you are able to do both at the same time. But the key there is before you start, try maybe 1 year to have some savings so that when you are leaving that your full time, you are still able to meet your bills. Remember, you are in America. Your bills is still going to be there. Even
Yes.
those are in London, your bills are going to be there. And you don't want to be homeless while you are starting your business. So the
Business.
key there is to save before you get into it. I hope I'm
Wow.
able to answer.
Yes, I believe you did. So the
Okay.
key is to be able to save before you start because
Yeah.
you don't want to be homeless. You want to have some type of cushion before you
Yes.
go head on into the business. Thank you so much, Ma. This has been great. Now, one more question before we
Mhm.
call it a day. I don't even feel like stopping because I'm just soaking in all the pearls of wisdom. It is amazing. And I'm going to rewatch it again. And for our audience, you can always find this video on our YouTube channel. It's right here on YouTube. It's not going anywhere. You can watch it as many times as you want until you get exactly what you're looking for. So, Mommy Ajibola, I want to take you back. I want to take you back to your 18-year-old self. Just take a journey down memory lane to when you were 18. Knowing what you know today, what would you have done differently?
Thank you very much for that question. Knowing what I know today, I would not have told my 18-year-old self to do anything differently, significantly, because I believe every step I've taken, everything that's happened to me, they've all come together to form who I am today. If I didn't go the route I've gone, if I didn't do all the things I've done, I may not be who I am today.
Mhm.
So I will have many people will want to look back to their 18 years and wish to change many things. I wouldn't change anything significantly because I am proud of the way I've lived my life till now. I've never allowed any peer pressure to interfere with my destiny plan. I did not allow any bullying from anyone. As a child, I told you that I was utterly mullish as a child. At that time, I was thinking something was wrong with me. But now I know that those were the traits in me that were propelling me to who I am today. I will just tell my 18-year-old self to keep on being who she is, not to bow down to any unnecessary pleasure or bullying. And I say that with nostalgia today because I attracted a lot of bullying when I was in school, both at AGGS and Comprehensive High School I2. But I disregarded them because, like the devil is going nowhere because he knows that he is not going anywhere.
Bright future.
He wants to bring along as many people as possible. An easy route leads nowhere.
An easy route.
I call the bluff of every bullying agent. Every peer pressure did not mean anything to me. It didn't even occur to me anybody was saying anything to me. My journey was my focus. My tomorrow was my focus.
Hallelujah.
So the only small thing I would have told my 10-year-old self is this.
Yes.
Sholape, be a little bit calm. Because God has not given all humans the same magnitude of intelligence. So we will not do things the same way.
Yes.
And variety is the spice of life. It makes life to go around. My 18-year-old believed in a cause and did not believe any other thing was possible. Just that route, and I'm done. So I would have maybe you want to slow down a little bit there. Not much, but just slack a little bit there and just give that room that we can't all be the same.
Yes.
If everybody like Sholape, this life will not be interesting.
Wow, this is amazing. You said something that I love, and Shoboye Jotolilokwe just said it right now. An easy route leads nowhere. So each time we find ourselves on an easy route, we should definitely know that maybe even if it's leading somewhere, it's not leading to anywhere interesting, anywhere great. It's
Tangible.
and we don't want to be average. We want to be beyond ordinary. All right. All right. So as I want to take you back down to 20, 30 years ago, 40, or maybe almost 40, when you were 18. What would you do differently, and what would you tell your 18-year-old self?
Wow, thank you, Cheryl. I won't do anything different because when I was 18, I've always been a quiet, gentle person. What I would say it goes more to parents to always talk to their children, be there for their children. 18-year-old girl, calm down, enjoy yourself, relax, pray. When I was 18, I used to pray and fast during the Lent period because that is what my parents taught me. Be there for your children. 18-year-old that is in school, pray, put God first, and your ways will be okay. And mothers, be there for your girls. Be there for your girls. Listen to what they are going through. No matter what they are going through, be there for them. Don't make them to feel like they are better than somebody else. When I was 18, I had the luxury of having so many friends from different backgrounds. But I always remember what my parents always tell me. Don't look down on anyone. Do not look down on anyone because you might have 2 pencils to take to school. Somebody else may not have it. Try to share what you have. And if you don't have, don't look down on anyone because you are able to eat. If you can share, share. That takes me back to giving back to our community. Show your children from little how to give back. I'm living that right now with my children. Every year we go to Nigeria and we do medical mission. It's a free medical mission that we give back to the community. There's so many things that we benefit when we were in school that children of nowadays do not have, especially in Nigeria. I witnessed a situation of a 12-year-old boy when we went to medical mission in 2018. This boy couldn't see. When he came to me, he said, I couldn't see the board, so I always fail my class. So what do? We brought glasses. That is what that boy needs. But he doesn't have the luxury of going to see any doctor or to check his sight. So this is the boy that's supposed to be getting A's in class. But because of the challenges, he couldn't. He was failing. So if we try to kind of put into giving back a little to our children, it will help them when they grow and they become somebody, to know that everything you have, what you have today, God made you to be there to be a helper for somebody else that is less fortunate. I'm not saying you have to give everything you have. I'm not saying you don't take care of yourself or your children, but you have a little that you can give back to someone. It starts from when they were little. If you can, we can start as mothers, all of us, as mothers, to start teaching our children how to give back. It will be helpful.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. So speaking of giving back, we all attended AGGS, and many of us have graduated maybe 5, 10, 20, 30 years. And right now, our school needs us. I'm sure some of us have donated, but I'm also making a call today for our erosion project going on. There's an erosion project going on in the school, and it needs our attention. We are ladies of honor. We are phenomenal women doing great things all around the world. So if you are led to give back, that's our account number right there on the screen. Sterling Bank AGGSOGA National Project Account. You can make a donation to that bank account so that you can contribute your quota to the erosion project going on the school. Your donations are highly appreciated, and be sure to share with other people as well. I wish we could go on and on and on and on, but we've come to the end of this session, the making of a phenomenal woman. We've been so blessed by you sharing your story and your journey, and I'm sure the audience have been blessed as well. So if you are listening to me right now and you are on YouTube, you're watching this session, go ahead and use one adjective to describe today's session. I'm going to put your comments on the screen. So go ahead in the comment box so that our phenomenal women on the hot seat can see the good job they've done. I want them to be able to see it on the screen. So go ahead and use one adjective to describe today's session. And while you're doing that, I'm going to ask you, Mommy Ajibola, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, finally, I would like to say that things are a lot messier now than they were in the 80s or early 90s. But we didn't have internet at that time. There are a lot of opportunities now in our country, but unfortunately, an overwhelming majority of us see these opportunities as big problems that our government can solve. I wish to leave with everybody listening to me this evening that there is business in the struggle people face. I'll say that again. I said there is business in the struggle people face. Try to reduce their struggle and you make money for you. Try to reduce their struggle, you make their life easier, you make money for yourself, and you have a means of livelihood. Every day I pray for the man who invented the washing machine. What would our lives have been without washing machine? I tried that. We were washing our hands before. I don't know if Sheung is aware of that.
Oh, yeah.
You belong to this pleasurable generation. We washed the sheet and duvet with hand. My uncle was an Anglican bishop wearing white cassock. We washed white with her hands, and there will be no stains on the white. So in the struggle people face, there is business. Try to reduce their struggle. Stop complaining, and you make money for yourself. The success of everybody and every business, every human, is your ability to study your environment, pick what is wrong there, and translate it to business.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ma. So you've heard it. Solve the problem of the people, provide a solution, turn it into a business, and profit from it. That is wisdom right there. Thank you so much for sharing, Ma. Auntie Titi, what else would you like to say?
I'd like to say thank you to Sheung Akinloton for putting all this together. I'd like to say thank you to Yeye Azan for all our hard work. And I would like to say thank you to all the alma mater. My message to the present student of AGGS: continue on the path, the legacy that our senior have led for us. Let's continue on it and continue to make AGGS a better school. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to read some of the comments that we have, and I'm going to start here. Phenomenal women with beauty and brains. God bless you, Ma. That's from Shike Ade too. Yes, we should be a blessing to others. I have been blessed. Explosive. Awesome. Great.
Thank you.
Well done. So, and that's the last one. Today's session is really awesome. God bless you both. At this point, I would like to say that we've come to the end of the making of a phenomenal woman. I would like to say a big thank you to our national president, Yeye Otumba Adetola Azan, for giving us the opportunity. I would like to thank our phenomenal women on the hot seat, Mrs. Sholakwe Ajibola and Mrs. Titi Unegbu. Thank you so much for your support. And to our wonderful audience, I would say, be exceptional, be intentional, and be on point. And I would like to leave you with this.
Many people wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. When I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenally. I walk into a room just as cool as you please, and to a man the fellows stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's the fire in my eyes, the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist, the joy in my feet. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say, it's in the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breasts, the grace of my style. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palms of my hands, the need for my care. Because I'm a woman, phenomenally, phenomenal woman, all you women and me.